The man who ran from God, swallowed by a great fish, yet chosen to deliver his message and save a city from destruction. God spoke to Jonah and said, "Go to the city of Nineveh and call out against it, because its wickedness has come up before me." Jonah, however, didn't want to obey. Nineveh was a great and sinful city, and he feared that God's mercy would forgive them. So Jonah decided to run away instead of going to Nineveh. Jonah went down to the port of Joppa and found a ship heading to Tarshish. He paid the fare, boarded the ship, and set sail, trying to escape from God's presence. But God saw everything. While Jonah was on the ship, God sent a violent storm over the sea. The waves crashed over the ship, and it seemed as though it would break apart. The sailors were terrified and each cried out to their gods, throwing cargo overboard to lighten the ship. The captain found Jonah sleeping below deck and said, "How can you sleep? Get up, call on your God." The sailors cast lots to find out who was responsible for the storm, and the lot fell on Jonah. He admitted, "I am running from the Lord. Throw me into the sea and the storm will stop." At first, the sailors tried to row back to land, but the storm grew worse. Reluctantly, they threw Jonah into the sea, and immediately the sea became calm. Then God sent a great fish to swallow Jonah. Jonah was in the belly of the fish for 3 days and 3 nights. Inside the fish, Jonah prayed to God. "I called to the Lord in my trouble, and he answered me. From the depths of the grave, I cried for help. You brought my life up from the pit." Jonah promised to obey God and vowed to proclaim his message. God commanded the fish, and it vomited Jonah onto dry land. Jonah was safe, ready to follow God's command. Jonah went to Nineveh just as God had commanded and declared, 40 more days and Nineveh will be overthrown." The people of Nineveh believed God. They fasted, wore sackcloth, and turned from their evil ways. Even the king humbled himself, proclaiming a citywide repentance. God saw their repentance and compassionately spared the city from destruction. Jonah, however, was angry. He said, "I knew you are a gracious and merciful God, slow to anger and abounding in love, and that you would forgive Nineveh. That is why I ran away." Jonah went outside the city and waited, hoping to see what would happen. God provided a plant to give him shade, but the next day it withered. God told Jonah, "You have concern for a plant, though you did not labor for it. Should I not have concern for Nineveh, a great city with more than 120,000 people who cannot tell their right hand from their left, and many animals?" Jonah learned that God's mercy is bigger than his own understanding. The story of Jonah teaches about obedience, God's compassion, and the power of repentance.